Hi, my name is Shelby Norris. This is week 12 information chapter discussion. We've got 5 questions this week. The first one is what are some benefits versus drawbacks relating to seeking health information over the internet? I think some benefits come with personal responsibility. I think that the internet is a huge place where you can go and say whatever you want to, and you don't have to rely on government run healthcare, and you can just look it up on the internet. And you don't have to rely as much on pharmacies and doctors, and you can explore alternative treatments if you wanted to, and try different things. I think that you can get a lot of different perspective on the internet as well. So there's just a lot to even see on there. And you don't have to just go by what mainstream media or the government health agencies tell you to do. I think some drawbacks though is that with our free speech and how big our internet is, you should you have personal responsibility to verify the information that you're getting from the internet. And sometimes as we're learning as misinformation, that sources can be wrong or incorrect, and it can be misinformation. I think that some platforms will censor some health opinions, and so depending on where you're going, you might only get an actual opinion instead of fact in healthcare. And then I also think that there's a bunch of fear mongering on the internet too. So people can start freaking out, if your mom goes on or your grandma goes on the internet and looks up why her chest hurts, and then she's oh my god, I'm dying, it's because I have cancer, stuff like that. People will just exaggerate risks and different things, and people start to panic. So it's better to just go to a professional, in my opinion. Number 2, what are examples of misinformation that you've noticed over the internet? What about interpersonal sources? Like I said, I think that there's a lot of misinformation when it's you look up oh, why are my lungs hurting, and then it's just you have lung cancer, when in reality it's probably just because it's cold outside, or you have a cold, stuff like that. I also think that online there was a lot of fear about COVID-19 and all the lockdown narratives and stuff, and all of the coronavirus was just insane. I feel there was so much information out there that I don't think all of it was correct, and stuff like that. I think that there's different claims about personal fitness, and that your diet and stuff, how you should be doing things. For example, I saw a bunch of stuff about the carnivore diet a while ago, and then I even tried the carnivore diet, and I don't genuinely know how actually great that was for me. I don't know, I lost weight, it worked, but I don't know, that was my personal responsibility to make sure it wasn't misinformation. For interpersonal sources, I would say it's when my family has outdated advice. For example, I know that when my mom was sick when she was little, my grandpa would just give her a shot of whiskey, and because he was convinced that helped. I don't know, but that sounds like misinformation to me. Let's see. I'd also, number 3, why fake news or misinformation spreads faster over social media. I think a lot of it is probably manipulation too. I think companies are probably pushing certain narratives, and then censoring others based on what they think and what they want. I also think it's a huge lack of accountability. I feel people can just go on the internet and honestly and say whatever the hell they want, and they get no repercussions. So I think that it's just easy to spread over social media because you're behind a screen instead. That, and I think that people like to follow. I feel fake news gets spread more often because people like to follow only their political agenda and things that they're looking up, and they only want to see things that are in favor of their beliefs, and they're oh goodness, in favor of their beliefs and their political views. So then they only see one side of the story and then just flip it on its head for no reason. And then number 4, I think what motivates people to spread false news on social media, again, it's political agendas, whatever they want, maybe a lack of critical thinking of not even being this makes sense. I think that sometimes it's for again, it's just because it's easier on the internet, you're behind a screen, you can say whatever you want. And then I also think it's just trying to control the public opinion. certain groups like will get on there and like, you know, like large groups of people and just spread misinformation just to everybody, just so they can like, you know, get in people's head, like, you know, control their certain political party, etc. And it doesn't even have to be political. It can literally just be anything. Like, people just get on there with their big opinions and then just say stuff that probably isn't even right. And then, who should be responsible party to create effective filters for health misinformation online? I don't think it should be the government whatsoever. I think that the government is like a government-run system for filtering information. It would like probably just suppress free speech. I mean, while I do think spreading misinformation online is ridiculous, we do have the right to free speech, and we can post what we'd like. So I don't think the government should ever be filtering what we decide we want to put on the internet or what we want to say. I think that honestly, if you wanted to be like, what responsible party to create effective filters, I honestly think it's a personal thing. I think individuals, like the individual users, need to be responsible and fact check themselves before they're posting stuff on the internet that they know is incorrect. I just don't think that, like, you know, instead of relying on the government or like big like social media companies or whatever, I think that the individuals need to like boss up and realize that like you need to be putting the correct things on the internet, because again, all that fear mongering, all the information on there that's just not even like, you know, probably right whatsoever. I don't know. I think it's a personal responsibility that if you have the privilege to be on social media, then you need to be fact-checking yourself and going on there and making sure that what you're saying is correct, and you're not spreading misinformation, because, I mean, it's already a crazy world on the internet. So those are my opinions and thoughts for this week.